Hello everyone and welcome to Tathastu ICS. My name is Trija Garg and I am your economy faculty. Today we will be discussing priority number 7, that is the infrastructure of the Union Budget 2024 to 25. Infrastructure, very important for us. Until and unless there is an investment in infrastructure, how will we develop, be it in rural areas, in urban areas, or overall in the economy? So let us first understand what do you mean by infrastructure before actually understanding the provisions given by the government of India in this year's budget. When I say infrastructure, basically it is defined as basic physical systems, okay? Basic physical systems of a business, it could be of a region, it could be of a nation, which often involves production of public goods and also the production process. Okay? For example, if I say transportation, if the government is trying to enhance the transportation, that is infrastructure development. Communication networks, infrastructure development. Sewage, infrastructure development. Water, school systems, healthcare facilities, again infrastructure developments. These are some of the examples. Now infrastructure can be hard infrastructure or soft infrastructure. Hard infrastructure means physical system and the technical system, okay? And the soft means human capital. Okay, if we are basically trying to develop the human capital, that is by investing in education or healthcare facilities, that is your human capital here. Your physical system basically means roads, highways, okay, energy, ports, and then we have institutions, for example, financial institutions, that comes under soft. Hard, technical also, okay, that is communications, okay, or digital infrastructure can come under technical, that is hard infrastructure. Now, when we invest in infrastructure, it is very costly, okay, and very capital intensive. That means that a lot of money is required for this, but it is vital also, it is important also for our economic development and prosperity. So it can be funded either totally by the government, totally by the private sector, or together, that is public private partnership. Okay, this is infrastructure. Now to enhance the infrastructure in our economy, the government, first of all, the central government will invest. So this year there is a significant investment by the central government, okay, in the infrastructure. This will have a strong multiplier effect on the economy. How? What is the multiplier effect? Basically, when the government spends money, that leads to a direct increase in the economic activities of our economy. How does that lead to direct impact of the economic activities? Because it increases the employment, generates production, increases the production in the economy. This increases the income also. So initial investment actually does what is, they multiply the effect. Now this income will be used to increase the demand in the economy, because people will spend money. Again the production will increase, okay, again what will happen, this production will be sold, their income will also increase. Similarly, it will become a cycle, and the initial investment in capital investment multiplies the impact of it. So this is how the government spending creates a multiplier effect on the economy. So capital expenditure this year will be of 11,11,111 crore rupees for capital expenditure, which constitutes of 3.4% of GDP. Basically, government expenditure is, presented like two types. Number one, percentage of total government expenditure. That is the total government expenditure. We will tell that this is the percentage of total government expenditure, so that this tells us the priority given to a certain thing. Second is percentage of GDP. Basically, whatever income the country is earning, how much amount of that is spent on the expenditure of a particular sector. So in infrastructure of GDP, the income that we are earning, 3.4% will be spent on the infrastructure development. Commitment to maintaining strong fiscal support over the next 5 years. Also, the central government has said that we will provide money for and the support for the next 5 years to develop the infrastructure. What will be the benefits? One, economic growth will increase. Why? Because investment will stimulate economic activities, as I told you, okay, which will lead to higher GDP growth, more employment opportunities also for the country. demand of the material, services in the related sectors as well. For example, if I talk about roads, if the government is spending on the roads, then what will happen? The demand for the cement, the demand for the related sectors will increase, and those economic activities will increase. More job will be created there as well, more production will be created there as well because of the demand. Long-term stability, sustained investment ensures long-term economic stability and growth. Okay, and it will also reduce the logistics cost when we say basically in transportation infrastructure, and enhance the industrial competitiveness also. Now, that was the central government support. Now we have the state government support. Now the central government is saying to the states that we will provide you funding. We will provide you loans basically on no interest. Okay, and you can use these funds to develop infrastructure in your region so that there is less minimum amount of regional disparity. Okay, so the regional disparity can be like overcome. So encourage state investments to invest in infrastructure, provision of providing 1.5 lakh crores in long-term interest-free loans to the states. What will be the benefits? Balanced regional development of the states. This will ensure equitable development across the states because the government is providing you with the loans, helping you with the credit. This will reduce regional disparities by obviously improving infrastructure in the underdeveloped areas. They will also have, basic amenities and basic facilities by providing the infrastructure, making them more developed. And resource allocation, now the states will be able to prioritize and allocate resources efficiently to meet the development needs of the region. This will also enhance the economic productivity by addressing local infrastructure gaps. So whatever are the local infrastructure gaps, be it roads, be it highways, be it certain centers, be it certain, education buildings, be it communication networks or internet connectivity, it will also decrease the rural-urban divide as well. Then we have private sector investment. So we've talked about the central government, we've talked about the state government. Now there is private sector investment. Now the government is saying to the private sector that you also invest in infrastructure of the country. How? The government will support you through viable gap funding. Okay, that is VGP. VGF. Okay, so viable gap funding. Viability gap funding is basically in which the government actually supports around 40% of the cost will be covered by the government, because it seems that the project is economically viable but not financially. It means that the project that the private sector is thinking to start, they don't have money to start it for the initial operation, for the initial construction of the project. So the government provides them with the initial cost because they seem that this is economically viable, and that also reduces the gap between the revenue and the profit, the revenue that is expected and the profit and the cost as well. Okay. So, introduction of market-based financing framework will also be provided by the government, in which some tax incentives, regulatory framework will be made simpler. Okay, and also if there are investment risks by the private sector, the guarantee will be provided by the government for the same. Benefits: this will attract private capital, which will supplement our government expenditure. Enhance innovation and efficiency in project execution. This will reduce the burden on the public finance, hence also maintain a fiscal deficit in the target. Promote a diversified economic base with active private sector participation. Okay. Then we have special initiatives. For example, we have a centrally sponsored scheme known as Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. This started in 2000 and 3 phases have been completed. The fourth phase will start, in which all-weather roads will be provided to around 25,000 rural habitations, in which the rural areas, 25,000 rural areas will be linked via all-weather roads to the urban areas. Again, if they are all-weather roads, then the economic activities not face any supply chain problem. The people will be able to connect to the urban areas easily. Their income will increase, job opportunities will increase, employment will also increase, and more things can be also transferred and transit to the rural areas. So this is the fourth phase will be started with this. Okay, rural development will happen because now access to market will be easier, healthcare and education will be easier with the roads, enhances quality of life of the people. Okay, and economic opportunities in rural areas, facilitates the integration of rural areas into national economy and boosts rural employment and income levels also. Then we have irrigation and flood mitigation. Irrigation. Why do we need irrigation? To increase the productivity of our agricultural sector. We know that right now the agricultural sector is contributing the least compared to other sectors in our GDP. But most of the people are employed in the agricultural sector. So we need to increase the productivity of it, right? So financial support for Bihar will be given rupees 11,500 crore for the projects like Kosi Mechi link. Kosi is basically on the Kosi river, which is also known as the Sorrow of Bihar. So the surplus water will be actually transferred to Mechi, that is a tributary of Mahanadi. Okay, canal will be established for that. Assistance for Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Sikkim for flood management and reconstruction will be given. What will be the benefits of the economy? It will mitigate the economic impact of the natural disasters and also ensure long-term stability and continuity of the economic activities in the region as well. Okay, so there will be our regions, special regions which get impacted because of the natural disasters again and again. Now, if we try to reconstruct them and we try to, develop them and try to mitigate the flood impact on that, that will not stop the economic activities and hamper the economy of the regions, of the states. Agricultural productivity will also increase because it will improve the connection of the Kosi Mechi basically. What is that? Yes, Kosi Mechi link will actually help improve the irrigation facilities. Okay, this will also boost the agricultural output and this will also ensure water availability, leading to better crop yields and farmers' income. Okay. So this will ensure water availability, leading to better crop yields. Now the productivity of the agricultural sector will increase and the farmers' income will also become more stable with the help of irrigation facilities that we will be providing. So this was our priority number 7 of Union Budget 2024 to 25, and tomorrow we will be discussing priority number 8. There are total 9 priorities. I hope you've understood. Thank you so much and have a nice day.